Let us take you through the magnificent tour of Sultans Rumelia, during which we will discover the magnitude of Ottoman influence in the Balkans. Ottoman Empire has significantly changed the appearance of the area and left an indelible trace in culture, cuisine, and religion. Our tour begins with a visit to Sarajevo, a city that was founded on the banks of the Miljacka River in the 15th century. In the centuries that followed, it developed into a center of trade and political power. The old part of the city is adorned with many narrow cobblestone streets, each of which was named after the products sold in it. The street that has preserved its appearance the most to this day is Kazancılık, where artisans produce handmade copper products. Listen to the sounds of hammer blows and get lost in the ancient streets that are compact enough that can be explored on foot. However, these were not the only places of trade. They were also famous bezistans where valuable products such as jewelry and silk were sold. Wherever you go, all roads will take you to Seville, a fountain located in the center of the Çarşıya. Cafes and restaurants in the Çarşıya are places where locals and tourists have met for decades. Don't miss the opportunity to try the many savory and sweet dishes and experience the true spirit of the city. The panorama of the city is enriched by mosques, whose minarets rise high, and the most famous is Gazi Husrev Bey's from the 16th century. It is part of the endowment, Vakf, symbol of the common good for the wider community. Indispensable motifs of the city of Sarajevo are other religious buildings such as churches and synagogues. After the destruction of Sarajevo by Eugene of Savoy at the end of the 17th century, the center of power moved from Sarajevo to Travnik, where 77 viziers ruled. This is exactly what the residents of this place are especially proud of. Above the city rises an imposing fortress, which is an indicator of the strategic importance of the city. We can also notice the clock tower that can be found in most of the Ottoman cities. However, Travnik is the only town in Bosnia and Herzegovina to have two clock towers. The most beautiful mosque in the city is a colorful mosque that attracts attention both with its interior and its exterior, and it's known as Suleymaniye. Relax by listening to the sound of running water and taste traditional Bosnian coffee. Enjoying your cup of coffee with friends and family can take hours, during which you will surely get hungry. Therefore, we recommend that you try Travnik's cevapi, which are considered the best in the country. Our journey continues to the south, and we arrive in the small town of Konjic, which is known as a connecting point between Bosnia and Herzegovina. The most important symbol of Ottoman architecture in Konjic is the old bridge on the Neretva River, which was constructed back in 1682. Nested in a karstic valley on the coast of the emerald green river Neretva lies the city of Mostar, a magnificent pearl of Herzegovina. It developed in the 15th and 16th century as an Ottoman frontier town. Mostar has long been known for its old Turkish houses and old bridge, Stari Most, after which it is named. It is on UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites, together with the surrounding towers and pedestrian streets. In addition to the old bridge, the city is enriched by the stunning Karagios Bey Mosque from the 16th century, which is known for its ornaments. However, what makes Mostar especially unique are the jumps from the old bridge. They are a special tourist attraction that dates back to the distant past. Our next stop is Pochetel, a small medieval village that was greatly developed during the Ottoman rule, when mosques, maktab, madrasa, khan and the clock tower were built. However, the most spectacular structure is the Kula, a silo-shaped fort overlooking the village from the top of the hill. It used to house watchmen and military as a guard against possible intruders from the Neretva Valley. In addition to the abundance of sunshine, the influence of the Mediterranean climate, the river Trebinje also has a respectable architectural heritage. In addition to the large number of towers that protected the old city, the central place belongs to Osman Pasha's mosque, which is associated with the legend that Osman Pasha was executed because he allegedly made a better mosque than the sultans. In addition to numerous mosques, the Trebinje heritage is adorned by Arsanagić Bridge on the Trebisnica River, whose builders were famous masters from Dubrovnik. Skadar, one of the oldest cities in Albania, is located on the river Bojana and the lake of the same name. Here is where Mehmet Pasha Bushatlia Mosque, known as the Lead Mosque, can be found. Next to it, the city is dominated by the fortress of Frozafa, the name of the Illyrian princess, which according to legend was built into the Cyclopean walls to keep them intact. The largest and capital city of Albania is located some 30 kilometers from the sea, with an extraordinary Mediterranean climate and vegetation rarely seen in any other capital. Some of the Ottoman sites in Tirana that we should mention are Edhem Bey's Mosque from the end of 18th century in the center of Tirana, right next to Skender Bey Square, which is dominated by an equestrian statue of the most famous figure in Albanian history. Elbasan is an old city created on a former caravan route that connected the Adriatic Sea with Lake Ohrid, Bitsala and further with Thessaloniki and Istanbul. In addition to the old town and the fort, Elbasan is complemented by the Emperor's Mosque from the middle of 15th century, dedicated to Sultan Bayezid II. Small rustic streets in the old town are a mixture of Eastern and medieval buildings, narrow cobble streets and a large bazaar. When traveling from Elbasan to the east, as we reach the pass known as Chafasan, we will see the Great Lake Ohrid. Continuing in our journey, we finally arrive in Ohrid, a beautiful city on the lake of the same name, whose history we associate with Samuel's fortress, which dominates the city. Through centuries, churches and monasteries were built, and one of the most famous churches of Saint John of Caen. Also, Ohrid has been characterized by its oriental character, alleys, shops, as well as Ali Pasha's Mosque, which is considered to be the oldest in this area. We are now in Skopje, the capital of Northern Macedonia, located in the valley of the river Vardar. Thanks to the fact that the Ottomans formed a settlement here at the end of the 14th century, Pit Pazar is dominated by Mustafa Pasha's mosque. The famous mosque was also built by Isa Bey Isakovic in honor of his father, Isak Bey, and it's often called Isakia. Below it on Vardar is the famous multi-arched bridge, or the stone bridge on the Vardar, and it connects Pit Pazar with the current Macedonia Square. Over the course of the 14th and 15th century, Pristina developed as an important mining and trading center thanks to its proximity to the rich mining town of Novo Brdo and due to its position on the Balkan trade routes. Near Pristina is Mazgiti village, the site of the tomb of Sultan Murad I, who died in the Battle of Kosovo in 1389. The tomb is on the list of cultural monuments of Kosovo.